Okay, we are going to attempt to take the door off of a 2022 Jeep Sahara Unlimited. This is the passenger side door that we're going to work on. Front passenger door. Using a little toolkit that came with the Jeep. Does that have all the instructions in it?
Yeah, this little kit is kind of nice actually. It comes with a small ratchet. It comes with two different size star bits, one that fits on the piece on the inside, and then the one that takes care of the hinge on the outside. And then it also has one for the larger nut that you use to take off. But it's all in this nice little kit that Jeep puts in the glove box for you. And inside that, it comes with picture instructions on actually how to take each part of the Jeep off. Whether you're taking the roof off, the front window, the back window, the door, it shows each one and how to take those off accordingly. So kind of nice. It gives you a very clear picture instructions, no words at all, just pictures, and tells you which tool to use to do it. So we're going to try this for the first time, take this door off, and then we're going to try to actually hang it on the wall and see how that does with the contraption we made up for the wall.
Every door in the Jeep has this wire for the power windows. So you pop this plastic piece off. It just pops off there. And then this is the quick release for the wires for the power window.
Flip that.
Okay, so first things first, make sure you roll down the windows because that's how you're going to hold the door when you take it off. Just for a close-up of where the wires were, this plastic piece, you literally just pull on it. And it comes off. And then you just pop it back on. So there's no magic to it. It just manpower.
As you flip this white piece upward, it actually self-detaches the whole harness. So you don't have to pull on it, you don't have to pry it. As you push this little white piece up, after you raise the red tab, then it actually pushes this off for you, so you don't have to do any work to get that off of there. And then there is a little place where your harness hooks on here, and you just slide it up over the piece of metal to take the whole harness piece over here, and this will stay with the door as the door comes off.
So that's the piece for the power windows. So you can just put that in your little bin, and then that plastic piece clicks back on.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah. Just like that. All right.
Okay, so now we have this piece right here, which has to be taken off. This is the piece that hangs onto the door here.
And I think that's step one.
This is step one of removing this. So take the little tool they gave you. So that bolt comes off. This is the door check piece here. And you got to keep it open because what you realize is this keeps the door from going open too far. And so you don't want to push it back in either. If you push it back in, it's going to scrape up all of your paint here along the inside of your door. So you want to make sure that you don't take this once you remove the bolt and push it in. If you do, it's going to gouge into your paint right there. So you want to make sure once you take that out, you do not close the door. And be careful opening it because it just keeps going, as you can see.
It will go all the way around and hit the front end of your Jeep and scratch up the Jeep. Like there's nothing now that's keeping it from turning all the way around. So the other thing is, once you start taking off pins and bolts, there is actually a place in the back of the Jeep. There's a place in the back of the Jeep to store all those pieces. Underneath this, the part that you lift up where you have some storage, there are actually places for all of the screws. There's a door hinge place and a roof place and a windshield place. So you just stick that right in there. It's magnetized and it holds it in place.
The shorter piece, it comes with the kit to detach the doors. It's a little bigger star bit that's on there. This, you just go right up under the hinge. It fits those. And you start turning those in order to loosen them. Protect your paint there. You could even get something to slide it in between there if you wanted to, but I'm just using my finger to keep that away from there so I don't accidentally scratch up the door.
Now, do you have to worry about when you take that screw out that the door is going to start to fall?
No, because it's on a pin, I think. No, I do have to get something off there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, kind of like a door.
Yeah. It's like a big pin hinge. And that's the length of your pin that goes in there.
So that's the pin that came out. These doors weigh anywhere between 40 and 50 pounds. And what I've seen is that they surprise people with their weight. So they recommend the first time you take them off, actually they recommend every time you take them off, to have 2 people to do it.
That one comes out very easy.
The other one. Okay, so now the door is just hanging on those 2 hinges, so it just needs to be lifted off. The other thing you have to be very careful of is your mirrors. You don't want to break your mirrors.
Bottom. Set it right on top of here.
So the other issue is that you want to be careful of, we just sat it on top of a cooler that happened to be sitting in the garage. When you go to sit it down, you want to make sure you're very conscientious of the surface because it'll scratch your paint. All right, so that was actually pretty easy. So it's the wire, then it's that hinge that holds the door, prevents the door from folding all the way back. Then it's the 2 hinges in the side of the door. And voila, the door is off. So taking the door off probably took less than 5 minutes. Having never done this before, we didn't know about that wire harness thing, so we had to figure that out. But otherwise, it was pretty easy.
So when we first looked at the door posts, when you look at them on the Jeep, it looks like the post is pretty large. But actually, when you take the thing off, the pin sticking out is small compared to what it looks like on the Jeep. So if you can see, this was originally the size of the eye bolt that I used into our hanger in order to hang the Jeep hinges in. Way too big. This piece won't even fit between the hinge and the door. So what I've had to do is considerably downsize. As you can see, much smaller. This one will even fit through the middle of that one. So a much smaller one, this hinge is plenty big enough. I tried it, it'll fit over the hinge of the door. So now we're going to put these back under our hanger, screw them into place, and then we'll pad them. We cut some small pieces off the pull noodle. Just some small little round sections. Cut that section in half. What I've done is I've cut a groove in the back of that with a blade. And that groove, basically what it's going to do is allow the eye hook to fit into there. Just like that. Eye hook will fit inside there. And now for the middle and the back, we're running one cut straight through like that. So now there's an opening from top to bottom. Eye hook will stick in here. Opening the eye hook will be right through that slit. So when the pin goes down in here, it's protected on all sides from that pin. So then this, what it does, slips right over your eye hook. And it protects it in the back, protects it on the sides. And the compression on that, because it's fairly stiff foam, won't allow the door to get dinged up. So we're going to try to hang it and see what happens. So now, as you can see here, the hinge itself has actually fit through the top of the pull noodle and then through the eye hook, both top and bottom. There's plenty of clearance for the mirror from the wall. The door can hang like this. It won't be up against the wall, so we don't have to worry about the... Now come around, you can see from the inside, the door is protected with the piece of pull noodle, and then the connector for the door that actually holds it inside fits enough to the outside of the board there that it doesn't get in the way. If that stayed any closer inside, you'd have to build this out away from the wall in order to make room for it, or cut a notch out of your 2x6, which is what we used there to put that on. But it holds. The door is hanging by itself. No problem. I'm pushing on the door. There's no give to it whatsoever.
All the tools you need are here. And then the door is hanging on the hinge. Do you need my help? You're gonna do it yourself?
Nope, I'll take the door down. So I put the door up high enough because when it's down low, you really can't see well where the hinges are. By having it up higher, it's easier to see where the hinges are to get it in place. So we put it up a little higher, and now taking it off, it's just a matter of raising it up.
Okay.
Okay, the door's now seated in the hinges.
And again, what you got to be careful of is that it has no stability. So it will fold all the way to the front and hit the front of the Jeep.
They actually go in there really easy.
So you do the 2 hinges first. Then you reconnect the bar for the door control, and then you reconnect the wire. So you do it exactly opposite of how you took it off. And it is literally four steps. The 2 hinges, then the door stabilizer, and then reconnecting the quick connect wire.
Before you mess with the wire, I would definitely recommend putting the door stabilizer nut back in, and that way you're not pushing on the door by accident and it won't open on you and slam the front of your Jeep.
I don't know if you just caught that, but just him tightening up the hinge, the whole door moved. That's how flexible that door is.
And now we take the second connector, take the one for the door off, put the one for the door hinge, or the stabilizer for the hinge. Easily fits back into the frame here. Screws in very easy. I mean, I'm hand tightening the majority of it. I actually hand tighten that all the way down flush, and now it's only going to take a couple of turns with the wrench here. Actually, maybe I didn't have it all the way down flush. I thought I did. Thought I did, but I didn't. All right, snug up now. There, in place. I'm going to take this. Here's the little connector. It slides over this metal piece, and that's what keeps this thing stabilized here. You do have to bring the door in a tiny bit to make this easier to hook on, like that. Then here's your bracket for your piece. When you push it up in there, this piece, white piece, slides back down, and you snap that into place, push the red button down, it is now connected. That's all it took, literally, to hook that back up. I mean, it was a matter of a couple of seconds there. This, I gotta get lined up, because you do have to get lined up for it to fit right. There,
okay.
It's lined up, it's in place. Door is now back intact.
Then the moment of truth.
Now, Chris will start it up and make sure the window goes back up. Make sure you got it hooked up correctly. Well, I'm sure it will. So, not a problem. Very simple, not a problem. That door, literally taking it off, took, only because we did, the very first time we've taken it off, took us probably all of 10 minutes. It took us longer to figure out how to disconnect the cable, or the harness, the wiring harness for the window. Once we brought it, you saw from the hanger over to here, it took 5 minutes probably total to get the whole thing back on. So extremely simple, not a problem. Door doesn't weigh that much. I know Chris could handle the door by herself if she had to. So we just kind of helping out because we want to make sure we don't scratch things up. But not a problem. Very, very simple.